Hello, I'm Britton Clennett and welcome to China Insight, where we look at some of the biggest issues affecting this rapidly changing country. Challenges lie ahead for China as it aims to steer away from a manufacturing and imports-exports model to one based on services and domestic consumption. But how is it faring? Today, we're looking at Zhejiang province, which is arguably leading the way in terms of the evolution of China's economy. Zhejiang was once known as a place where small businesses would manufacture cheap goods, but in recent times, it's become a hub for tech startups and e-commerce ventures. To help me shed some light on the changing face of Zhejiang and the Chinese economy is Professor Wu Changqi of Peking University's Strategic Management Department. Welcome to the show.
My pleasure.
Now, Zhejiang made up something like 6.3% of China's economy in 2014. How much of it can you put down to e-commerce success in the province?
Indeed, Zhejiang traditionally the economy consists of small and medium-sized enterprises, right? But for this small and medium-sized enterprises, they need to looking for the markets, right? But traditionally, Zhejiang is full of entrepreneurs, and then you see like the Jack Ma and it of Alibaba. He was in some years ago, think about developed this Alibaba that's introducing e-commerce. And of course, Zhejiang province in the size of the economy is, of course, and percentage-wise, it's a relatively better developed economy. But actually, its size cannot tell all things. But as we talk about e-commerce itself, just like Alibaba, it's a hub of the China and the world center of the e-commerce, actually provide e-commerce services as a platform to consumers as well as to enterprises. And they're changing the people's behavior in consumption, in production, in the supply chain. So that is very important.
So what you're saying is it's not necessarily quantity over quality.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. Of course, that's e-commerce itself. It's the size, of course, takes a certain share of Zhejiang's economy. But issue is the role is the play. They're using the modern technology, information, communication technology to changing the structure of the economy. It brings a lot of conveniences to the consumers and also shaking up the manufacturing side.
Of course, that's closely tied to the importance of innovation, right?
Indeed, indeed. You know, the e-commerce itself is what's called business model innovation, based on the internet technology. Right? Actually, this way to conduct business completely changed. In Zhejiang indeed, it's a startup. It's a hotbed for startups. Right? Many those entrepreneurs are moving around this technology and to provide a new type of the economy, create new type of new economy pattern that drive the economy growth.
Okay, well, that nicely introduces us into our report. China Insight travelled to Zhejiang to find out more about the role of e-commerce in its economy. Let's take a look.
China's rapid economic growth over the past 3 decades has been a catalyst for change. And in few places is that change more evident than here in Zhejiang, one of the most developed provinces in the nation. We're here on a media tour to take a first-hand look at some of the businesses and the industries that are driving this Chinese success story. And it starts here in the provincial capital, Hangzhou.
There's something different about the horizon in Hangzhou. There are no billowing smokestacks holding up the sky. But the lack of heavy industry on these manicured company grounds is anything but a cause for concern. This is the changing face of business in China and the epicentre of an economic shake-up, one that's being driven by hundreds of millions of Chinese shoppers who have made the great leap online. Zhejiang province is leading the way in China's new multi-billion-dollar e-commerce market. And there's one local company that, after capturing some 80% of e-commerce retail in China, stands above them all.
This is the headquarters of Alibaba, China's e-commerce giant. Now, to give you an idea about just how big this company is, in previous years it's made more money than Amazon and eBay combined. It has more than 300 million customers, almost as many as the entire population of the United States. And yet, despite its success and high profile, few outsiders have ventured through these doors. That changes today.
It looks like an ordinary office, but the business being generated here is extraordinary. More than 50% of packages sent through China's postal system now contain goods purchased through Alibaba's online stores, Taobao and Tmall. Make no mistake, this is the heart of the 21st century shopping frenzy.
This is one of the departments that's connecting millions of online traders with hundreds of millions of customers in a 24-hour shopping cycle that never stops. As you can see, the workforce is relatively young and there isn't a lot of time for chit-chat.
Alibaba has continued to defy China's economic slowdown. Its $25 billion IPO in 2014 was the biggest in history. The company's 2015 Singles Day sale, equivalent to Black Friday in the US, clocked a global retail record of $14.3 billion in sales. There are 30,000 Alibaba employees driving sales of everything from cars to carrots.
So, Sherry, how long have you worked here?
Well, it's kind of 1 year and a half. Yeah.
And are you from Hangzhou?
No, I'm from Beijing. So I transfer here and relocate my whole family here. Yeah, for the job and for the dream. I'm in the strategic partner development department. So our major responsibility is looking into the strategic partners, meaning the big group strategic partner clients in Ali and in Tmall. So we provide different solutions to them to help them, develop their business on Tmall and in Alibaba better and healthy.
The driving force behind Alibaba is founder Jack Ma, a former schoolteacher who set up the company in a one-bedroom apartment back in 1998. Despite his success at home, he now says China is not enough.
Internet is about global. The day when we choose the name Alibaba.com, because we believe Alibaba should open sesame for the global small business and consumers.
It's the launch of Alibaba's 2015 Singles Day sale, and even the international attendees seem sold.
And I think there's no question that Tmall and Alibaba are capable of going global. And I think the opportunities are really clear in doing that. For a country like New Zealand, where most of our businesses are small business, and to be able to tap into a platform like Alibaba offers through their various platforms is just an amazing opportunity for us to not only sell into China, but also actually to sell around the world through that platform. So, it's an amazing opportunity, and the platforms that they're creating here are just fantastic.
Ma's global ambitions seem genuine, but with concerns abroad about alleged fake goods on Taobao, the rest of the world may prove a hard sell. From Taobao to tea leaves. In Hangzhou, tech and tradition have formed an unlikely partnership. For subsistence farmers, it's a development that's dramatically changing their quality of life. It's also bringing Zhejiang's renowned tea to the cups of many more ordinary Chinese people.
For more than 1,000 years, Zhejiang has been famous for growing high-quality tea. Outside Hangzhou's city limits, the tea fields roll on as far as the eye can see. And although it doesn't look like much has changed since ancient times, recently, tea growing in the region has entered the 21st century.
This is Hangzhou Yifutan Tea, one of the companies that uses Alibaba as a platform to sell to millions of Chinese consumers. Founded in 2008 by a group of college friends, the company has banded together almost 1 million small-time farmers, forging them into a supply chain to create China's biggest e-commerce tea business. Traditionally reliant on local buyers and uncertain pricing, the tea farmers now receive a steady, guaranteed income, and business is booming. In 2014, Yifutan sold 200 million tonnes of tea, which saw their revenue hit 205 million RMB.
Comparing with offline sales, we're still not that big. So our goal in the future is to combine online and offline. We want to be the top, not just internet, also for offline. then in the future, maybe to the world as well.
Innovation aside, eFuton's founders say their company's success is the result of a business environment in Zhejiang that's favourable to startups. Government funding and tax breaks are part of the reason they believe Hangzhou now has a booming service sector, all part of China's wider plan to transition the economy from reliance on manufacturing and exports to services and consumption. Dreamtown. In many ways, the name says it all. Hangzhou is renowned as the e-commerce capital of China. And in this industrial park, ambitious young people from all across the country have set up shop. Lured by generous tax breaks and rent-free office space, they're here to chase a dream of making their mark and their fortune in this government-backed incubator for online business. The service sector has already overtaken manufacturing as China's #1 employer, providing jobs for more than 38% of adult workers. Online loan service TZG is providing finance to many of the new SMEs driving that employment, offering loans when the big banks don't. Clocking 2 billion RMB in transactions during their first 6 months of operation, their higher interest rates have not deterred borrowers.
因为梦想小镇，首先它这个名字就很好听，梦想。每个人我们现在单位里基本上都是90后、85后，每个人都怀揣一个梦想。第二呢，这个园区对我们的这种创新企业，它给的不光是税收上面，包括对一些政策上面都给予了很大的支持。对，包括这里的整个办公环境、氛围，都是我们喜欢的想到的这种感觉吧。
Zhejiang's government dreams of a province driven by innovation and domestic consumption. Online car sales company MyHowChe is literally driving towards the same goal. With the click of a mouse or a tap on a smartphone, customers can purchase imported vehicles from the company for about 15% less than they would in the showroom.
我们刚开始呢是在隔壁的街道那边租了一个很小的地方来做，因为我们是一个互联网加的一个很好的实践体，然后呢也把这汽车这行，所以说呢这个梦想小镇会定向的邀请我们来入驻，然后邀请的这个给我们的条件其实是非常非常优惠的，包括你们现在看到的这样一栋3层的这个办公楼，还有所有的办公家具，包括所有的 WiFi， 就是这个网络的部分，全部都是免费的。 搬过来之后呢，还有一些税收的优惠，还有一些政策的扶持的优惠，还有最好的是说，我们这行其实是会涉及到很多跟政府呀、跟这种法律法规的部分去打交道的，比方说工商啊各个方面去打交道的部分。那么政府会有专人去，就是梦想小镇这边会有专门去帮我们办理，因为我们创业者其实对很多的规章制度并不熟啊，对吧？他们会帮我们去办理，这样的效率会高很多。
Going to buy your new car will be the smoothest ride you will never have to take, because your new car is delivered straight to your front door.
Now, as we saw in the report, Alibaba founder Jack Ma has some big global ambitions. Can he really do it, though? Can he really challenge eBay, people like eBay, companies like eBay, in their home turf, the US?
I think indeed, Alibaba, in size-wise, it's larger than the eBay, right? It's combined different business models. But of course, it's a very good start, right? Of course, there will be challenges if that Alibaba expand globally, because different countries, different economies have different regulatory issues and cultural differences. Of course, the US is one market. There are different other kind of markets in the world, right? I think that it also developed in India, other emerging markets, right? That indeed the potential is there. But of course, the company like Alibaba must not underestimate, right, the challenges in a variety of different markets.
So Zhejiang's move towards this consumption-based, this service-based industry, do you see this as sort of a microcosm for the rest of China?
Indeed, we can learn from Zhejiang's development path to give the grassroots entrepreneurs opportunities, let them to innovate, give the young people the opportunities, facilitate them. The government policy should be business friendly.
Right.
Let the entrepreneur to grow.
And
That's the way to transform the economy.
Okay, well, that's something China Insight looked into in our next report. Two industries feeling the effect of reform and modernisation in Zhejiang are fishing and tourism. The next report explores how the success of these industries are boosting standards of living.
It's time to leave Hangzhou and continue our tour of Zhejiang. Our destination is Ningbo, a coastal metropolis and a gateway to trade in the province. If e-commerce is the beating heart of new industry in Zhejiang, this is the artery feeding it. Facing the Pacific, the Yangtze River Delta at its back, Ningbo Zhoushan port boasts 330 berths and now has shipping routes to more than 600 other ports around the globe.
In terms of cargo going in and out, Ningbo Zhoushan port is now the biggest in the world. It handles about 870 million tonnes of cargo annually. Now, to give you an idea just how big that is, think about a fully loaded 747 jumbo jet and imagine how heavy that could be. Now picture 2 million fully loaded 747 jumbo jets. The amount of cargo going in and out of this port every year would still weigh more than all of them put together.
Ningbo has been a port for thousands of years, and it's still growing.
Ningbo Zhoushan port is very important to China's mainland because we are at the T-shape of the coastline and also Yangtze River. So it's a very strategic point. It's very convenient for the cargo going to Yangtze River, and also a strategic point to connect the North China and the South China. So it's a very unique and important position.
Ships from more than 100 countries and regions visit Ningbo Zhoushan port every year, carrying Chinese products to the world and the world's products to China. Giant containers are loaded and unloaded constantly, bearing everything from raw materials to an increasing number of goods destined to satisfy the demands of the booming e-commerce market. From working port to economic weather vane, the changing nature of the cargo mirrors the nation's economic shift. Our media tour is on the move again. We're leaving Ningbo behind and heading offshore to Zhoushan. Just off the coast of the Chinese mainland, the Zhoushan archipelago is a string of more than 1,000 islands. It's famous for its marine and fishing industries, which generate more than 300 billion RMB every year.
我们舟山呢这么多年的远洋渔发展，特别是30多年的发展，我们从小到强，我们现在应该说规模也扩大，所以我们由于这个我们舟山的量，这几年我们达到了40万吨，占全国73万吨，2014年73万吨，我们增加，我们是占到60%左右。
This is one of about 500 commercial fishing vessels that call Zhoushan Port home. From here, ships like this will sail out all over the globe, bringing their catch back to feed China and the world. Now, this particular vessel is used for catching squid. It typically spends about 45 days at sea, and it works the waters off the coast of South America.
The captain of this ship has seen the industry develop from small fry to the point where it now accounts for almost 70% of the local economy. Deep sea squid. It's a popular dish in China's coastal provinces, which means demand is high. Some 40 tonnes worth, 60% of China's entire annual catch, is hauled in over the docks in Zhoushan yearly. Smaller fishing boats still anchor in the sheltered bays, much as they always have. But the waterfront has changed dramatically in recent years. Holidaymakers now crowd beaches and boulevards that look nothing like they did.
Holiday villas have replaced the old single-room fishing shacks. The hard scrabble of nets and lines has been traded for tourism, an almost 40 billion RMB per year industry that saw the islands receive 34 million visitors in 2014. It's a sign of how economic development in Zhejiang has changed the quality of life for the locals, who now run boutique hotels, bread and breakfast joints, and restaurants serving traditional fare.
16岁的时候下海捕鱼，捕到05年的时候就上来，但现在比起来嘛，中国是现在生活现在好，是吧？以前房子也没有，只有1间房子，现在房子造了这么多，是吧？花了好几百万，是吧？那现在嘛也没有家里也有钱了，是吧？搞的儿子嘛也没有。 旅游肯定这一块是比较来得好的。
There's an old Chinese proverb that says, if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. But if you teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. The people of the Zhoushan archipelago have taken that message to heart. Zhoushan's ocean harvest is now sent to more than 50 different countries. Traditional fishermen haul in their catch to feed the multitude of tourists now visiting the island. Often, these small-time operators sell it right off the beach or to the local restaurants on the waterfront. While there's an almost endless variety to choose from, it's not the only way to get a seafood fix around here. Some visitors prefer to catch their own. This is the son of the village head. His life has been dramatically different from his father's.
我父亲呢是捕鱼的，我从来没有捕过鱼，但是自从05年做起这个之后呢，我慢慢熟悉这一行当，包括海鲜的质量采购什么地方采购什么地方好这个就慢慢的觉得很熟悉了。
Whether it's online or on the coast. There's a vibrancy and optimism on the sea breeze in Zhoushan and the rest of Zhejiang. A sense that the tide is turning for the better.
Now, we saw in the report the Ningbo Zhoushan port described as kind of the main artery of the area. Why is it so important to the economy?
Ningbo has the best deep water harbor, right? That developed it into the Ningbo port. But moreover, you see, this is a port that serves not only for Zhejiang, but for the rest of China.
Well, the fishing industry in Zhejiang has transformed into a billion RMB a year business industry. To what extent is it an important industry for Zhejiang?
You see, Zhejiang is the largest fishing region in China. Right? We can see just from the report, actually this industry also transformed themselves. And first of all, we can see the big fishing ships. They are not only on the coast areas. They are as far as South America. They not only catch the squid and other things from the sea, actually they raise the fishes. Right? In addition, they also have they serve that fish, and to the next they call downstream business, they develop their tourist industry around the fresh fish. Right? You can see there's a family that is father and son. Right? It's a father still trying to catch fish, and the son opened a restaurant.
Well, so in what ways do you think that industries like tourism and fishing might be threatened by potential slowing down of the Chinese economy in the future?
When the Chinese population is getting to a certain extent aging, right? Then many people, they have more leisure time than to travel. In this regard, that Zhejiang indeed is a good location to develop a tourist industry. As the Chinese saying, in the heaven, there's a paradise. On earth, at Hangzhou, the capital city of Zhejiang province, is the paradise on earth. So that is indeed, there are a lot of sceneries, the beautiful sceneries. Right?
So you can always capitalize on beauty, natural beauty.
It's the natural beauty.
Right.
Indeed, and the environment protection and they keep that kind of the beautiful landscape, right? And the tea plants and other things. That is very important.
Okay, well, before we end, Professor Wu, I'd love you to give some closing comments about the direction of the Chinese economy and where you think it's going.
Indeed, Chinese economy has certain type of the headwinds, right? After 37 years of rapid economic growth, then we call that new normal, right? And different regions, regional leaders, entrepreneurs, and economists, policymakers are thinking what the next phase of growth, the new drivers for the sustainability of Chinese economic growth. And Zhejiang is a good example that move a step ahead, right? And it's already structured that developed itself into a hub for this innovative entrepreneurship, and also trying to transform the traditional economy using the availability of technology advances. And policy-wise, that's very important. It's not, you can see Zhejiang government is not heavy-handed government intervention. Right? It's trying to nurture the entrepreneurs, the business-friendly policies. That would be more effective to passing through this transitional phase to generate new driving forces and of the next phase of economy growth.
So you think by still nurturing small businesses, new industries, that's the way forward?
Yes, indeed. That is direction. Actually, this is also central government call for the direction. They call innovation and entrepreneurship. Right? That in this, but how to implement this innovation-driven and entrepreneurship-driven?
That's going to be the challenge there.
That indeed, that's the challenge. But Zhejiang give us, as we can see from these reports, right? Zhejiang in this case moving a little bit ahead of the curve.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, Professor Wu.
Thank you.
If you have any comments or questions, please email us at chinainsight@cctv.com, or you can reach us on Facebook, WeChat, or Weibo. And we'll see you next time for more stories and discussion on China, out of China. Goodbye.